Welcome to Twisted Theater, where the night doesn't sleep. It watches. Here, shadows have names, screens are never really blank, and the truth blinks in static. Tonight's story comes from the sleepless city of Mumbai, where millions of lights burn through the dark. But even in all that brightness, some things move unseen. This is a story about time, technology, and what happens when the camera starts looking back. Tonight, we bring you the Caretaker's feed. It was the summer of 2022. The city was restless, humid nights, crowded trains, the air thick with the hum of the electricity. In the heart of Mumbai stood a luxury high-rise called Aurum Heights, a gleaming tower of glass and quiet wealth. But at 2 a.m., when the city outside finally exhaled, that building belonged to one man, Raghav Mehta, the night security guard. He was 42, quiet and tired in a way that went beyond sleep. His job was simple: monitor the CCTV feeds, make hourly rounds, and keep the silence unbroken. The control room was small: 4 screens, a desk fan that barely worked, and a calendar from 3 years ago pinned to the wall. Every night looked the same on those monitors. Empty corridors, still elevators, the faint flicker of fluorescent lights. But one Tuesday night, something changed. It started at 1:47 a.m. The monitors flickered once, static, then clarity, and Raghav noticed something strange. The timestamp on camera 2, which faced the lobby, didn't match the others. It was 3 hours ahead, 4:47 a.m. He frowned, checked the system clock, normal, checked the footage, live feed, no playback. Confused, he leaned closer. The lobby was empty, except for the elevator door. It was open. He switched to the actual live feed, same camera, but time-stamped correctly. Elevator door closed, perfectly still, no sound. But on the other screen, the future feed, the door opened again. A man stepped out, barefoot, dressed in white, head down. The man walked slowly across the lobby and turned toward the security office, toward the very place Raghav was sitting. He froze, watched the man approach the camera. The figure looked up, straight into the lens. His face was blurred, not like distortion, but like it didn't exist. Just a smear of movement where eyes should be. Then the feed flickered again, static, gone. When Raghav looked back at the normal screen, the live one, everything was fine. Elevator closed, lobby empty. He tried to tell himself it was a glitch, maybe a time sync issue, maybe heat distortion, maybe anything but what it looked like. He restarted the system. For a while, everything was normal. But 3 hours later, at 4:47, the feed caught up to the image he'd seen. The elevator opened. The barefoot man stepped out, the exact same way, the exact same steps. And then, just like before, he turned toward the office. Raghav's heart slammed against his ribs. He reached for the flashlight beside him, hand shaking, and whispered, "Who are you?" But there was no one to answer, only the faint hum of electricity. For the next few nights, it happened again, always the same. One of the cameras showing time 3 hours ahead, always revealing something about to happen. At first, it was small things: a janitor dropping a mop, a light flickering, a stray cat sneaking in. But then, he began to see himself. One night, the future feed showed Raghav sitting in the office, just as he was, staring at the screens. Only in the future version, his expression was different, terrified, as if he was seeing something behind the camera. Raghav leaned closer, breath shallow. The man on the screen turned toward him, and then something behind him moved. He spun around, flashlight raised. Nothing, just the hum of machines. But when he turned back to the monitor, the Raghav in the future feed was gone. The chair was empty. If you're still watching, take a breath, because the next part is when the line between time and terror starts to blur. Before we step further into the dark, subscribe to Twisted Theater, where every second counts, and sometimes the future is already watching you. Raghav couldn't stay away. Every night he watched. Every night the feed showed more. The timestamp always 3 hours ahead. The events, always true. It became an obsession. He started keeping notes, times, images, angles. He thought maybe he could use it. Maybe he could stop accidents, prevent problems. But the camera didn't show warnings. It showed hauntings. One night, camera 4, the hallway near the generator room, flickered. The timestamp read 5:12 a.m. The lights were dim. A shadow moved across the floor, crawling, not walking. A shape that didn't fit the body of any person. It moved like liquid, but faster, deliberate. It slid across the walls, climbing upward until it reached the ceiling. Raghav's stomach dropped. In the feed, he saw himself walking down that same hallway 3 hours later, holding his flashlight, unaware. The shadow followed him from the ceiling. He slammed the keyboard, tried to switch cameras, but every screen went black except one, the future feed. His future self stopped walking, looked up. The shadow dropped. The screen went to static. Raghav ran down the hall, past the elevators, toward the generator room. It was empty, but the air felt wrong, heavy, dense, as if something had just left. When he came back to the office, all 4 screens were blank, just the hum of static. Then, one by one, the feeds returned. Only now, every single camera showed him, sitting there, watching. But on each screen, he was doing something different. Blinking, standing, turning, whispering. The timestamps? All different. Future moments, 1,000 versions of him, all trapped inside the loop. That was the last shift anyone saw Raghav alive. When the morning guard arrived, the control room was locked from the inside. The monitors were still on, showing an empty chair. The logbook was open on the desk. The last note he wrote read, "The feed doesn't show the future anymore. It shows the moment after I'm gone." Police later found the building system unsynced. CCTV timestamps looping endlessly, 3 hours forward and back. No footage of Raghav leaving, no sign of struggle. Only a faint reflection on camera 2, a blur, barefoot, walking past the chair. Some say if you visit Aurum Heights after midnight, the cameras still flicker on their own. Sometimes the screens show an empty chair. Other times, a man watching, mouth open, waiting for something you can't see. And if you ever find yourself working late, staring at security feeds, and you notice one of them showing a different time, don't watch it too long. Don't try to correct it, because maybe it's not broken. Maybe it's showing you exactly what's coming. Thank you for watching Twisted Theater, where the line between now and never is paper thin. If this story made you look twice at your own screen, leave a like, share it with someone awake at 2 a.m., and subscribe before the next flicker, because if you don't, maybe the next time your monitor flashes, it won't be static. It'll be you, watching yourself. 3 hours ahead. And remember, when you shut your device tonight, the cameras don't really turn off. They just wait for the right moment to record. So if you hear a faint hum or see your reflection move just a second too late, don't panic. It's only your future catching up to you.